Okay, our next speaker is the real mayor of Palmdale, Mayor James Ledford. He was elected for his 11th term as mayor of Palmdale in 2011. He also served 4 years as the City of Palmdale Planning Commissioner and 2 years as a council member prior to his first election as mayor in 1992. And Mayor Ledford has been probably one of the strongest supporters of high-speed rail in California at a city level, and that's the kind of supporters that we absolutely need, because the city is the one that's going to get the station, they're going to get all the benefits, and if they support it, then the whole system gets support, and we'll be able to connect a number of cities. So we've been talking with the mayor about working on the transit-oriented development and the fantastic opportunities that Palmdale has. The unique thing about Palmdale is that they're going to end up with 2 high-speed rail systems intersecting right in their city. The one coming in from Vegas and the one coming south from San Francisco. So that opens up unbelievable opportunities for the city of Palmdale, and the mayor is well aware of those benefits and is a strong supporter. So please welcome Mayor Ledford. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that great introduction. My perspective is really what I want to share with you, a perspective of a mayor in actually a fast-growing community like Palmdale. We're 60 miles north of Los Angeles, and we are a destination for families that want to realize the American dream of home ownership. That's really what drives our growth in our community. But the fact of the matter is we understand the importance of high-speed rail, and we have since the very beginning. I remember the first meeting of the High-Speed Rail Commission at the downtown Los Angeles Ronald Reagan building. I remember being in that meeting, and we saw, here we go, we're starting this process. It's a very important discussion, really, for the future of our state, the future of our nation. And we knew, as a city, right away, we wanted to be part of that. We want to be part of the new paradigm of transportation, and we wanted to share those great benefits, not only with our own community, but the entire Southern California area. So I got a chance to go see it. So as a mayor, you ask yourself, well, how are we going to eat this elephant? You're going to take it a bite at a time. But we have to understand the concepts, and we have to see what's going on in the rest of the world. And I got an opportunity to go with a state delegation to Madrid, Spain, and we spent 7 days. We saw all aspects of high-speed rail, but that wasn't the only thing we saw. Certainly we saw the integration of these other modes of transportation and how that works with a high-speed rail feeder. And that's a similar development we're seeing in San Francisco and certainly in Los Angeles, is that delivery system is very, very important. So when we go to Madrid, and out of Madrid, we're able to go to any place in Spain practically in around 2 hours, similar to what we have with the Los Angeles to San Francisco line here in California. And what we saw we saw different modes, actually. We saw stations, we saw control centers, we saw maintenance, we saw rail construction, we saw the effect on communities outside of Madrid. For instance, a tourist community, Malaga, we went there, got there in around 2 hours, got to have a great visit with their mayor, got to have a great lunch. We got to get back on the train. We were back in Madrid in the early afternoon, just in time for a siesta. That seems to be the mode over there, which is not a bad thing. And anyway, it was just great to see that integration, because when we enter these stations, this is really why I went, is I wanted to see that integration. How does it work with the other modes? And it's very interesting that these stations are fully integrated. When you see a subway system and a commuter rail system all working seamlessly with a high-speed rail connection, it is really awe-inspiring, and it is moving people and goods and economy, and it's where we need to be. It is the next step. Certainly for our community, we feel it's very, very important. Probably one of the most important things we're working toward is this. So Madrid was a great experience, and I got to thank the state for that. I got to go with a delegation, and we really got to see everything, all aspects. But I was raised in Missouri, and I don't always believe everything I see. And so when our delegation decided to go home, we all flew to Paris, and then they went back, and I stayed. So I spent some time in Paris, and guess what I did? I went to their stations, and I spent 4 days looking at train stations, other modes of transportation, and how it all works, how is it integrated. And these stations, again, are just as magnificent as what I saw in Madrid and in Spain. But that wasn't enough still. I thought, okay, I need to go see more. And I always wanted to ride the tunnel train, and I got to do that. So I took the train from Paris to London. Spent 3 days in London doing the same thing, looking at train stations, looking at transportation modes, commuter rail, subways, et cetera, et cetera. This same integration that we are developing here in California. So I got to tell you, eye-opening, because as a leader of a community, I have to be able to talk to this in a way that is authentic, and I can help move my city in a way of saying, we want this, and my city does want this. We are pro high-speed rail. We are pro investing in the system, and we believe it is the future for California. And as a city, we have quite a few initiatives that are moving right now. And I want to give you just a brief outline. And again, the perspective of a mayor. This is a new dynamic, and our preparation is new, and we're gearing up, and our staff is working hard to get as much information so we can make the right type of decision on our station, for instance, our station location and design. So we've got some TOD grants from the state that we're able to work with through high-speed rail, and they're helping us vision what that looks like, and how do we integrate these other modes. And it was interesting to hear our Leahy talk about Metrolink. What's the future of Metrolink? Well, the future of Metrolink in the Antelope Valley that's our local delivery system from a high-speed rail station. That's how you're going to get back to Acton, and that's how you're going to get up to Lancaster, hopefully into Kern County. We think that's how it's going to move people in and around the Antelope Valley. So we see that in our future, and we think it's very, very important. And when we talk to our neighbors and people that may not have a station, may not be as enthused as a city that does have a station, which is us. We're very proud of that. But the fact is, you do have opposition out there, but we have developed consensus in our Antelope Valley, and this is something you don't read about in the paper, is you hear about the naysayers, you hear about the people that don't want this, and I can't imagine why that would be. I mean, cars are great. I love mine, but my gosh, there are other ways to get around the state, and certainly I saw that in Europe. That's what I think was so important with that trip, was it got us to see it hands-on. And I'm not done. I'm going to be doing some more looking, and I think it's all important to be able to bring this home back to our city. But you have other elements in place in the Antelope Valley that are not only just the train station, but it's these other modes. And we heard a little bit about this Las Vegas, Express West that is building from Las Vegas to Victorville, and we want to be a part of that system. And certainly High Desert Corridor, the first east-west freeway in the Antelope Valley. If you don't know where the Antelope Valley is, you look it up sometime and you'll see this east-west freeway is going to develop what we call the High Desert Corridor. It will be, it's a 500-foot right-of-way. It's going to have all modes, but most importantly, it's going to have a high-speed rail line right down the middle of this thing. It's going to connect us now from Victorville to Palmdale. Once you get to Palmdale, then Metrolink will be our short-term delivery into Los Angeles. But more importantly, when the state high-speed rail system is built, we are now looking at a single seat ride to Las Vegas, a single seat ride to San Francisco. And we believe those are keys to getting people to not only enjoy a high-speed delivery system, but actually look forward to it far beyond other modes that might be available out there. So we have plenty of opportunities, plenty of upsides for our community as we dig a little deeper and we start looking at how do we integrate this new dynamic to our community. And we're bringing in elements like higher density housing, which is something that can be controversial in any community. But for us to be able to create this intermodal kind of zone around our transit lines, we see this as it's a non-confrontational way to bring higher density, to bring transit mode, people that are looking for, maybe they don't ever want to own a car, but they will have an opportunity to live, be able to work in Los Angeles, a 30-minute train ride into downtown LA. Imagine for a commuting city like Palmdale, we have some of the highest commutes in America, and they're not going to get better, ladies and gentlemen. Those commutes could easily double in time if we don't do something. And when I hear some of my state and federal politicians are representing my area that may not be on board with high-speed rail, they are condemning my residents to 3- and 4-hour commutes by not looking in a visionary fashion, not looking forward to the options and opportunities that we have for real economic development. More importantly, quality of life for our residents that spend hours on the freeway every day commuting. And I use this example, a 30-minute ride out of downtown Los Angeles to Palmdale now makes my resident a PTA member, a soccer coach. They're spending quality time with their grandchildren and children. And that's really what it all comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. When it's all said and done, and as an elected official, I like to, look at this. What's my mark when I leave? And my mark, I want it to leave a statement that says this human contact is important. Raising our children and our grandchildren are important. That experience, you can't buy it. And as a nation, we need to reorientate, I believe, our thinking to become, again, more not only sustainable, but able to spend that quality of time and have an environment, leave something for our children that we can be proud of. So in Palmdale, all these elements are in play. And I got to tell you, I'm very, very excited about the consensus that we've developed with, you hear about, well, if you're from our area, you'd hear about the Acton, Agua Dulce, Santa Clarita. Those people are, no, we don't want this train. It's bad news. Go away. But the fact of the matter is, we already have a consensus. We already agree on an option for that high-speed rail going to Los Angeles from Palmdale that both Acton and Agua Dulce have signed off. So I hope my local media is here so I can read about this in the paper, because I haven't been able to find this in the paper lately because my paper doesn't want to share in the opportunities of high-speed rail. So we have to look for opportunities to express these consensus, these opportunities, these ways that our valley is moving forward in spite of our media, in spite of some of our elected officials that don't seem to see it or get it. I believe that Mr. Duran is correct. This is moving. This is happening. I've had an opportunity to go to Fresno, so I'm looking at anything and everything to do with high-speed rail. So I go to Fresno to see it. I want to see what this means. What's this high-speed rail mean to Fresno? That's ground zero, isn't it? It's where the system is being developed right now. And sure enough, there it is. This swath, this right-of-way is developing right through the middle of Fresno. And they've done a lot of the advanced work that we're about to do as a city of Palmdale. So they're a great lesson for us as a city to see, here's what they're up to, and we need to understand that and look at those opportunities to synergize their lessons and transfer it to us. So we become even more efficient. And then we become that same test bed for other communities that are going to see this same dynamic. And we can share this information, and this will grow. And as a state, I think we're going to be far stronger. But Fresno is the right example. Interesting. I was just in Bakersfield last week. I saw Mr. Duran speak there as well. Very great presentation. But it's interesting to see and talk to the mayor of Bakersfield. Again, big proponent. And they are actually breaking loose as a city. They are on board now. They are moving. And they were an opponent at one time. And we thought, my gosh, we got to have Bakersfield in this loop, because once you connect Los Angeles to Bakersfield, you have now connected the Amtrak disconnect. We're worried about the coastal route, and we should be. But quite frankly, Amtrak can't go north because you have to take a bus out of Glendale to go to Bakersfield to get on Amtrak. This will close that gap. So the future of these other systems, I think certainly there's a place. It may not be the same system that we've known to date, and there certainly will be change. I'm sure of this in Metrolink and Amtrak, but I think it'll be more complementary, and I think it'll be more efficient, and this will be more sustainable. And that's the change that needs to take place, because right now we're all operating independently. So, as a mayor, again, I need to go see this. I need to go look. And then we've had an opportunity to do that. As a city, we're gearing up. And we hope to be able to work with other cities. That's really kind of my takeaway today is other cities that are dealing with these issues, we want to be a resource, just like Fresno's been a resource to us. Now, we've created a little, we've banded together actually with Fresno and City of Burbank because we have things in common, and now Bakersfield is on board. So we're finding this consensus now, running the alignment of the high-speed rail is growing in the government entities, certainly at the ground level where people are living today, where we are struggling with this gridlock today, where the air quality is choking us today. These are issues that have to be dealt with, and we believe high-speed rail certainly is the answer to that. So I would just say, and I'm going to close by saying, today we're going to leave here in the conference, we're going to get in our car, and we're all going to be stuck in traffic. And we need to think about this as we work our way to wherever we're going, that there is a better alternative. It's happening everywhere else in the world. And we have to somehow break the stranglehold that oil has on America. And through that, we not only have a better quality of life, more sustainability, we have that quality of time that we need with our families. And I think that's really the most important part of all of this. So ladies and gentlemen, happy to be able to speak today. Thank you for having me here today. I'm just giving you a perspective of a mayor of a small city, but we are very excited. We are on board, and we are looking to, well, any information we can find, and it was good to see that TOD conference is out there. We're going to go take advantage of that as well. So anyway, if I can help you in any way with my insight, please don't be shy. Thank you.